Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us from. This is Martha Rena. Thank you so much for following this episode and this channel. We appreciate so much. As we move on, I would like to request you to kindly subscribe so that you can always be aware of new content, and whenever I upload a new video, you will be in the loop for that. Please subscribe and that will be awesome. So on today's episode, I am hosting a friend of mine. Her name is Lucy, but she will tell us more about herself. And today we just want to look at her life and how she grew up and the challenges of growing up from childhood to adulthood and how she overcame some of those challenges, which we will get to look at in a few. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Martha.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself.
It's an honor to be in this show.
Thank you.
My name is Lucy Wanza.
Yes.
And I am here so that maybe we can teach the public one or two about child growing up, development, and even to where I am.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lucy.
Yeah.
So for the sake of our viewers, I would like them to know who is Lucy, where is she coming from? And before we do that, I would like to remind us that we are coming to you from the Mandhari Resort Gardens along the Denderu Banana Road, and feel free to reach out to them by the contacts running at the bottom of your screen so that you can just make your bookings and all your needs, event needs can be sorted from here. And as you can see, this is a very beautiful background from their restaurant. Feel free to contact Mandhari Resort Gardens for your wedding needs and every other event that you may have. You can have it from here at the Mandhari Resort Gardens. So karibu sana once again. Yes. So who is Lucy? Where is Lucy coming from? Maybe we can start with your names and where you were born and how was it growing up?
Thank you so much for that. For sure, we are in a very wonderful place. I like the place.
Awesome.
I am Lucy Wanza. Those are my names. And I am a female Kenyan from Machakos County. I was born in Katiani in a village called Nzaikoni.
Okay.
Nzaikoni means circumcision. So it's a place where I grew up.
Why was it called that? Was it the center for that event?
It used to be a place whereby young men used to undergo the initiation process into adulthood.
Okay.
Yes, I grew up in that place just like any other village girl. I am a village girl. That is where I grew up. And I went to Zaikoni Primary School. I went to Zaikoni Market. I went to Zaikoni Catholic Church. That is where I grew up. And my childhood was very interesting, full of drama, full of miracles. And again, I'm sure we will learn from that. Awesome. Lucy also went to secondary school in Carmel Girls. And after that, I joined the higher learning institutions, whereby maybe I'll be able to mention. I am a nurse by profession.
Awesome.
So I went to a school, training school in Samburu East called Wamba School of Nursing. And from there, I also upgraded. I went to Kenya Medical Training College in Nairobi, whereby I got a diploma in nursing.
Awesome.
That was not enough. The journey for education is long. I also joined Mount Kenya University for a degree in nursing. And later on, I joined JKUAT University, got a master's degree.
Wow.
I'm also a counselor by profession. I went to Presbyterian University of East Africa and got a diploma. Other courses, that is my education life. I am a Christian.
Awesome.
I am a Christian, and I am not just a Christian. I am a strong believer of the gospel.
Awesome.
Because that is the power of God. Yes.
Wow.
So mainly that is it. I'm a mother and I'm a wife.
Wow.
Yes.
My viewer, that is a whole CV right there.
Yes.
And we thank God for you, Lucy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
So as I host most of my guests, I'm always interested to find out how was it growing up. As we can already see, God has done so many things for
Yes.
you to where you are today. But how was it? Were there any hurdles that you underwent when growing up? And how was it? What were the challenges that
Yes.
you faced as a child? And first of all, maybe you can tell us how many children were you? You know, what born were you? And what challenges did you experience while growing up?
Wow, yeah. Growing up, to me, I must say it is my story is a success story.
Amen.
That is what I would like my viewer to see. At the end of Lucy's story, it is a success. And I know anyone else growing up can be able to hold on something and grow up and make it successful. I am the firstborn in a family of 8 girls. So my mother had 8 daughters. Us 8 daughters, all are living, and by grace of God, we thank God. The last born is almost now in Form 4. So that is my birth order is the firstborn. I
Awesome.
am the firstborn,
Yeah.
and many people from the community that I come from, I am a Kamba, and we believe that there is power in being a firstborn, because we believe the firstborn and the father share equal authority. So we are authoritative in nature if you are a firstborn, not unless challenges of life have pushed you down. Growing up, to me, being in a family of 8, I grew up with my mother and my stepfather, because from what I know is when my mom was married, she already had me. And personally, up to current date, I'm still looking for my biological father. And I know maybe very soon, because the journey of sharing, it's a story I never talk about, because I never thought it was relevant to me. I'm still looking for my biological father. Not that I don't know where he is. I tried, but because of challenges of life, I didn't make it.
So tell me something.
Yes.
Maybe just allow me to ask this question.
Yes.
Do all the other children belong to your stepfather, or was your mother married with you and someone else? And what happened? Do you have a history of what happened between your father and your mother?
Yes, I do. My mother was married with Lucy alone, simply because as a young girl growing in the villages, with all the challenges of life, my mother's family are not educated, if I can say. It is a generation whereby Lucy has come to break the rock of education, because my mother being a village girl, uneducated, and my grandmother had a brew. There used to be brewing around our home, so they used to go to fetch water. And in a process of fetching water, something happened when she was coming from the river. Because again, my grandmother being a woman around brewing area, though she was not brewing, our children used to fetch water there.
Yeah.
And she used to go to Kariakor market to do business for sisal baskets. And now she leaves the children there. On her way from the river, she met this young man, a very bright man from what I hear, from Kaba High School. And one thing led to the other. From her first encounter, she gets pregnant. The man was a schoolboy. They couldn't marry at that time.
Okay.
And now after getting pregnant, the man goes back to school. After going back to school, my grandmother realizes the daughter is pregnant. Now they have to look for a man who could marry this girl.
Okay.
Then my mother overhears her sisters discussing about the men who are coming near that brew zone. And one of the young men was not even coming to drink, but accompanying the father. she hears them say, that must be a wonderful man. And she decides, if he comes to me, I will accept. Fortunately, what's obvious. The man comes and she agrees. So she forgets that the father of the child is not this. But the man waits until she gives birth.
Okay.
So my mother gave birth to me while she was still in a maternal home. Then later she gets married when I was less than 1 year.
Okay.
So the others were born in that place.
So literally your mom did not know this person, like how people date,
No.
how they get to know each other, prepare and get even him getting to know you as a baby.
No.
There was nothing like that.
But what I know is that the mother to the boy came after I was born.
Okay.
But now my mother, a schoolboy and all the traditions around, she couldn't wait. But I also understand you also never made it to Form 4 because of school fees.
Your real father.
Yes, but being in Akaba High School, which was a national school even those days, he must have been bright.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So now your mom gets married to your stepfather.
Yes, and now there I don't know much about the place. But one thing, when I opened my eyes, I found myself in a rejected family whereby I didn't find love from the father. And now my mother is fighting. Do I love the child? Do I love the man? She's in between there. She now gets children. She used to have children after everyone. After this year, before the other child is 2 years, she has another one. 2 years. Because when maybe I will be able to share one of the photos of us standing. You can't tell who is the first and who is the last. We look the same.
Yeah.
Because there was no time even to breastfeed enough for these children. So my mother gets married and I'm there, and I find myself, no one loves me. I feel it, but as a child, I have no option. But the father used to show it so open to his face, at his face. I remember we used to have similar clothes. He was a tailor. Now he's late. He was a tailor. He could make clothes looking the same, but my dress had to be slightly different.
Oh.
Then one time he brought 3 pink dresses for my sisters. Then I asked my mom, where's my dress? My mom says it's on the way. It will be brought next week. Then next week, I think my mom went to the shop, met one which looked similar to this, but it was not the same.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, Mom, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But she couldn't tell me much. My father used to be in Machakos town. So some of the, after closure of schools, I used to be left behind. Then they go with other children. Now I'm left at the mercies of my aunties. We would go to the bushes. I would be beaten. I would face a lot of injustices there in her absence. But as a child, you cannot come to tell her.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was admitted to the hospital for burning my left hand. Even if you look at it, just scars.
Yeah.
The whole of it was burned by porridge. Early in the morning, because I went to my auntie's place and I fell in a sufuria of porridge.
Yeah.
And now I went to Machakos. I think that time they stopped leaving me behind. And growing up in such a circumstance whereby even when I'm sick, my father would say, nisipelekwe hospitali, because I am in a position to get healed. And I'm like, how? One time I had stomach ache, and that time I realized God heals.
Yeah.
He told me, go and make some solution of water, ash, and salt. Drink. You will feel better.
And you did.
And I didn't do it.
Okay.
I walked to my grandmother's place because my mother was not married far from my mother's land. It was like 1.5 kilometers away. So I walked, and on the road I said, God, heal me. I have so much pain. And before I arrived, I was well. And from that time, I realized there is power beyond, but I couldn't explain.
So
Many times my father would say it on my face, I wish my sister now, let me not mention her name, one of my sisters, I wish the brains that Lucia's were for so and so.
oh,
Then I would wonder.
so that was his firstborn.
Yes. If that is what he wanted. Then he felt like sometimes my sister would wear my clothes or I wear her clothes. And my father from nowhere, he would beat me and say, then my mom asked, why are you beating her? I thought I was beating so and so.
Oh,
Then I'm like, I know you know who you are beating. So that was it.
so I have a question.
Yes.
I know how difficult it can be going through rejection from a step parent, either mother or father. Was there a time where you asked him any question? Where was there a time you, I don't want to call it confronted, but was there a time you faced him and asked him why, you
No.
know?
No, because my father was tough, was bullied because he even we could see domestic violence in our family. So how would I?
Yeah.
How would I? He
Yeah.
was unquestionable. He was tough. He was even distant from my sisters.
Yeah.
He was not that kind of a father you would feel warmth.
So
He
with
only used to come on weekends. And when he came, he would go to his mother's house and they would lock themselves there for so long until we were like, he wouldn't pass through our house before going to eat what his mother had prepared.
yeah.
And also that was, I could see the trauma that my mom was going through because he came over the holiday to be with his family, and not his family, it is his mother.
Yeah.
That was my father.
So does he take you to school? How is it now growing up? The education process, the primary school, especially the early primary school for you.
He used to pay the school fees.
Yeah.
But anything that used to be individualistic, for example, like trips, like games, it was never part of it. But like for the school fees, it is parental. Those days it used to be the parent, the lump sum amount for all the children put under the name
Correct.
of the parent. So he had no choice. But anything individualistic, my mom used to take care of it.
Sorry.
Very rare did I feel that he supported me in this, even in church.
Yeah.
Church things, no.
Tell me about your relationship with your siblings. Now here you are going through so much rejection and your mom is trying her best to bridge those gaps, you know. How is your relationship with your siblings now in that season of going through that fatherly rejection? How is it? How is it?
Being unaware of what to call this kind of a family and a kind of scenario, our relationship was good because I was their defender. Many times my mom could leave us and I was there to take care of them. I didn't know whether I was being rejected. I didn't know what to call it until when I was old enough to understand now this is it.
Yeah,
But
this is
all the
rejection.
time that we lived with our father, I couldn't call it rejection until I was out of it. That is when I realized what to call it. I remember one time, which was most traumatic for me, is when they were entering the car to leave me, matatu.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've grown in the villages and there is something we used to crush maize, remove the outer cover.
Yeah.
In our language, it's called nde. That thing, we had one big one, naimelalishwa chini. It's on the floor. Then my head was put inside so that I don't run after them. And now one of my aunties places her foot between my legs so I can't move until the car went.
Yeah.
I think that was when up to today, if he was alive, I would tell him, ask me for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is bad. That was bad.
I think that was the worst of the worst that I faced. Because you can imagine your mom is going your sisters, your everything. They've locked the house, and your small pieces of clothes with my grandmother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
So now you've grown up, and
Yes.
now, by the grace of God,
Mm.
you have cleared your class 8.
Yes.
So how was it coming now to clear class 8? Were you struggling with education? Because children who begin to realize that there are things going on in the home and they're the odd one out, there is that struggle with
Yes.
education, interacting with people. How was it for you, like just your daily, your daily kind of life? Were you able to interact with other people? Did you have friends? How was it? How did you find school? Those things.
Yes, yes.
Just those everyday things. How was it for you?
First thing I would say is education to me was not a problem,
Okay.
because I must say, by grace of God, I was a bright student.
Yeah.
And most of the time I was in the top of the list. Apart from those bad days, you just wake up, you didn't make it in exams. But generally, even any viewer watching me and knew me from my primary school will say I'm not lying, because papers don't lie and numbers don't lie. They're still there, they exist. The challenge that I had with education was taking care of these children, because my mom is also fighting our own issues in the family. And now here I am. I want to thank my mom, because she was very devoted to make sure that we do the best. But at times, it came a time, again, the family is a family of witchcraft. And once again, I will say I realized it after I'm out. She was bewitched in one of her eyes. She was during her normal days in the farm, and she felt like dizziness.
Let
Then
me
she
ask
fell
you,
down.
define bewitched, because sometimes it's a cultural thing, or some, like, if you tell someone that's watching, like she went through bewitching, how will you convince this person that she went through that? And is it like she believed that she got bewitched, or was there someone that had threatened her or something? Maybe explain that.
First of all, I am from that family, was a family full of witchcraft. And when I say witchcraft, these are supernatural evil powers that operate in that family. We see witch doctors coming so that people can be taken through certain activities for protection. Certain activities. For example, I remember there was one time, there's this man who I heard was from Tanzania, came with the red sheets. They spread all over, and everybody would sleep. They have some drinks were being given. This is for protection. I'm a child, but I am hearing, I am undergoing all these things.
Okay.
Then my mom having 8 children, and these are daughters, and this is a traditional family.
Okay.
They feel that she should be having a child who is a boy. And it was used to be verbalized. We even came to realize that she is being told that she needs to have, the next child must be a boy.
Wow.
Now she is going to the farm, and it is being spoken to by even the mother-in-law that you have to, otherwise you will leave. And this particular day, you're asking about bewitching, she goes to the farm. She felt like something has entered there.
Okay.
And the next moment, the whole of the eye is pulling out. She's rushed to Kikuyu Hospital, and on arrival, the first thing the doctors say, we've never seen this even in books. You need to look for a man of God to pray for you. And she stays there for like 3 months. And before she comes back, there is a second wife.
Oh.
Before she comes back. And this second wife is one of our girls working in the shops.
Oh no.
So how would you convince me? And anyhow, then every time something has to happen at home, she has to be in Kikuyu Hospital for months. Then after that, she will come, and things have changed. A lot of things are happening.
Okay.
Now, who is left with the children? Let me not dwell on the witchcraft, because if it happened, it happened. Who is being left with the children?
It's the firstborn.
It's the firstborn. During this time, the house helps cannot be able to be there. They also leave.
Yeah.
I will take care of them. They are cows. That was the time I knew how to milk. We wake up at 4, milk the cows, pack the milk. When we are going to school, we carry the milk to the shop.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I have cooked, packed the food in containers before we go to school.
Yeah.
I am the last one to leave and close the doors, then hand over the keys to our auntie who had a shop in the nearby market. Then my grandmother would take care for the cows what to eat. We have to sweep, we have to bathe. Those days, the water is in the river.
Yeah.
So I grew strong. I never cried. I never knew. In fact, I think I started crying when I was old enough to know what tears are for.
I know.
So we would arrive in school and the bell used to ring at 6:30. You can imagine. I push them to go. And the other small ones, we are running to school and like that time my mother had to be in the hospital, the last one, the last one. And I'm here going with the others. You arrive in school, then one of them says, "Wapi bag yangu? Where is my bag?" Oh my goodness, what do I do? Go back home, pick the bag. It used to happen on and off. Then you arrive and you are beaten for being late. You keep quiet. I realize one of them left the homework book, and when she's asked, Lucy is the one with the book. And I'm called from the class, "Where is the book?" It was forgotten at home. Bring your hand. You beat the strokes for that child.
Yeah.
So as a firstborn, it was not easy.
Yeah.
Yes. But by the grace of God, I would come late. I would go and do all those chores. And when the exams come, I'm at the top.
Yeah.
It's God.
Yeah, it's God.
It's not me.
That is true.
I can't explain that power. Yes.
Wow. Firstborns, the Lord bless you and give you more grace, because it's not easy, honestly, being a firstborn. So now God has given you this gift of academic excellence.
Yes.
And you have come now, after all these struggles, you've now matured, you've grown up. Now, tell me about you as a girl. You're now developing, you're now growing,
Yes.
it's now from childhood, to adolescence and all that. Any struggles? Like, this is where now you begin to socialize. Any struggles just after you've cleared your primary school? What struggles, personal struggles, self-acceptance? What are you going through? What's going through in your mind? What's going on in your mind? How are you looking at the future? How was it? How was it? Just that process of, you've now come to know that, honestly, I am not the same as the rest in this family. How is that process, that mental process?
Yes, the process is a bit confusing. The reason being, you are bright. At least you have something to hold on. The growing up, I can say, was filled with a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Remember, by the time you're doing class 8, you feel grown.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember it was in class 8 when I received the first written letter by a boy. And you are like, oh my goodness. So in the midst of all these struggles, someone can see something. Then I tear the letter and put it in the toilet. I didn't want to associate myself with it. Then I am here. I'm done with class 8.
Yeah.
I'm done with class 8. But shortly before I complete my class 8, 2 weeks before the exam to be exact, something happened that really changed our lives. Then it meant our life have another turn of events. My mother had issues with my father as usual. So to us, family conflict was the order of the day. It came to a point that we knew the footsteps of my father. He could just step and the children, we would run to hide in bed. Because we don't know whether he's coming to fight to throw us, because it came at a point, especially after I married the second wife, the home was not for us anymore. Because I remember they used to bring us meat from Machakos and bread. Then we wouldn't eat. I don't know, something strange used to happen to me, because every time they brought something and I told my mother, Musikule yo, don't eat that one. We simply used to go and throw in the toilet. And we did that for quite some time.
Yeah.
Until one point my father came and said, where is the meat that I've been bringing? You people have not been cooking. Then my mom said, I don't understand what you say. You've been throwing it in the toilet. Then my mom said, how did you know? Then my father, for the first time, he said what we never expected. The witch doctor said, you never take that meat.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Then that was when we realized it was not business as usual. Maybe God was using his angel to tell me to tell them not to eat. And now the woman, when I was in class 6, she delivered a baby boy. So you can imagine now what happened to us. Yeah. Things went from worse to the worst until one night she came to our house and we were vacated because we had 2 bedrooms for the children. We were vacated from one bedroom where I was sleeping with my sister, the one after me, so that wife would use that room as the bedroom. It was the worst. And that night, not just that, they've not just come with peace, but they've come with pieces. Because I remember it was around 9 a.m. My smallest sister got sick. My mom and my auntie went to buy the drug. Then my father comes and asks them, the wife and my grandmother, where is now my mom? They said, we don't know. And they know very well the baby is there sleeping on the couch. They said they don't know. And my father started yelling and saying, this is what I've been saying. She disappears to God only knows where. Just wait, she comes. I will put her where she belongs. Then I hear tonight I'm losing my mom. Then I tell my sister today, our mom, I don't know. Then my mother comes. She gets in the house. Immediately my father locks from inside. And she said, today, make your last prayer. Inside is my auntie, cannot say I was with her to buy the drugs for the baby. She keeps quiet. My grandmother is there saying, yes, today she must see it. And we are outside there yelling. Let me tell you, that time I saw, I'm telling you, that is why I say this is a success story.
Yeah.
My sister and I, remember we are strong Catholics. I take off my rosary. I walked with it at the door and rolled it there. We took the pangas to the store. And then I realized to say our Father in heaven to the end, when person is in danger, you can't do it, Martha.
You cannot.
I tried our Father who art in heaven, it couldn't work. Hail Mary, full of grace, no. The only thing I said was, Jesus, Son of God. Jesus. And we fell on the floor. Our other sisters came running and joined us. We fell on the ground. And we started calling the name of God that we have not been taught in church to call. We knew that all we could do was our Father, Hail Mary. Remember, we are children. Then from nowhere, we had the lock opened. I ran and removed the rosary. They opened the door, and my mother walked out, straight to the gate, crying. We don't know where she went.
Wow. Rejection after rejection after rejection. So now, after now clearing school, how do you start processing? Is there a place where you start processing these? You start speaking to yourself, because you are a victorious woman as at today.
Yes.
Take us through that process.
2 weeks before the KCPE, my father comes the same way he's used to coming. And he tells us to leave. My mother asks why. Then he said, I cannot be able to overcome the shame. Then my mom is, what shame? He said, 2 weeks from now, she will be sitting for the exam. He can't mention my name. She will be sitting for the exam. And I know she will pass. And the society will look upon me to take her to that big school, and I'm not ready. You have to go.
2 weeks to the exam, you get kicked out.
Yes.
And he knows his target is the exam.
Yes, the exam result.
So
the secondary school.
The secondary school.
Secondary school.
Wow.
Then we leave. I remember we carried our clothes in sacks, baskets, nothing else. We never carried utensils. We only carried books and few clothes. Then it's at night.
Where do you go?
To my grandmother. That time, remember, I'm the big one. I told you we were like, I don't
whole team.
Yes. I'm carrying the smallest. My mother is carrying the other one. Then the other ones are carrying a few things for themselves. Then we walk like the children of Israel. To the rescue land. We goes to my grandmother. My mother, this is like falling from grace to grass. We are used to space. We are used to everything. Even if there is no peace, there is food. There is space. There is everything. Milk, eggs, big farmlands. And now we live. We are going to nowhere. Because in my grandmother's place, she has a house with small rooms. Small rooms that cannot fit a 3-seater couch. Small one. Cannot fit one side. So the middle room is the kitchen. The one on this side is my mother's bedroom. The other one, and her daughters. The other one is for the sons.
Okay.
And now we are here. A whole troop. On arrival, my auntie also left a matrimonial home.
She's there.
With 7. And now we are here. Wow. The sons are there.
Is there food? Is there basic needs? How is it?
My grandmother is an old woman. That night she had enough for them. And even the way we are, we cannot eat. The emotions are crushed. We cannot eat. We are like, really? We've left? How? As children, we have hope that it will be for some time, then we go back. There is no paraffin for Lucy to study, remember? I'm used to studying in odd hours. And this after all the family chores.
This is the Form 4 exam.
The Class 8.
Class 8 exam.
Class 8 exam. Oh my goodness, and now we are here. Guess what my mom used to do? She used to go to the market. You see, after timber, there is the sawdust.
Yes.
She used to borrow, come with it. So after they sleep, she would sit just aside. Remember, everybody's sleeping all over. So we would go outside. She would some fire. Then I lie down so as to stand with the flame. Because I knew that no matter what, I must pass.
And you're a bright student.
Exactly. So we complete the 2 weeks. I sat for the exams. And now life starts. I don't know what to do and where to go after the good results because I was confident. In fact, I thought I was going to get over 600 over 700 because if I had done that exam there, I would have been somewhere.
So this was the days of 700 marks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was just about being first out. I think we were the second last, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Then now the exams are out.
You've passed.
I've passed. I'm happy. It was good mark because it was 550
Yeah, out of 700.
out of 700.
That was good.
And now I'm here waiting for the calling letters for secondary school. And as usual, there used to be many. I really received letters. I received letter for Machakos girls. Later, 2 weeks later, I received another one from Kilungu. Precious blood. Towards the end, I received another one. That time was Mumbuni mixed.
Okay.
So I had around 3 letters. Then I called my cousin. Thank God, she's doing well. I called her. Come, take me to the father. Remember, we are not living there.
Yeah.
I've traveled from my grandmother's place to my father's house.
To your stepfather?
Now, yes, that house. Now he had already built a house for the other woman. So we are going to that woman's place. Then on arriving there, he's alone. At least I was happy. The wife was not around. We knock and enter. I gave him the letters. I told him, Daddy, I've brought the letters so that you tell me which one you will support. I had hopes. I don't know how to explain. I knew you will. You know, I don't know the depth of the discussion with my mom.
Yeah.
I thought it was their own business, not me. So he goes through the letters carefully. My cousin and I are just standing beside him. He goes through them one after another. I think there was also another one for day school.
Okay.
I gave him also. But to me, day school, no.
Yeah.
Then he placed them in their individual envelopes. Then he handed over them to me. And he stood knocking the table with his finger and tapping the ground with his foot. Then he took a deep breath and said, Lucy, you have done great. I have 3 options for you. Aha, wow. To me, the national schools.
National school.
3 things. And these 3 things.
Yeah.
He began with the 3 things. Mambo ni matatu. The first one. Remember, every time on Sunday, I say people to go to the farm, you run to the church. You refuse to do my works on Sunday and run to the church. That church and that priest have your solution.
Oh, no.
The second one. You love your grandmother so much. Oh, she's sick. You can go to her. She has farmlands. She can sell and take you to secondary school.
Poor
The
Lucy.
third one. Lucy. Nowadays, going to Bible school is free.
Oh.
You saw the way your auntie went to Bible school. She's not educated. And she managed to go there and came out with good grades.
This is a class 8 student he's talking to.
Yes. And an alternative of that Bible college, nowadays it is over 2,500 to get a house help job. And with all those 3 options, I'm sure you will not miss one which can help you.
No. Farming, Bible school, grandmother, house help jobs,
Bible school.
Bible school. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
No.
So God discussed with your mother the best option out of those three. My cousin cried.
I can imagine.
I didn't cry. I walked out. But on reaching the roads, I almost broke up.
Yeah.
It was in the evening around 6:30 to 7. So I went crying. I said, oh, you know the way we could cry those days.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. I arrived. Then my mom she didn't speak because she knew definitely I've arrived with a bombshell.
Yeah.
Then my grandmother said, even before you say what you have, one thing I know about you is that you are a hero. You will make it.
You will overcome.
Don't cry.
Yeah.
Not unless I'm in the grave.
Mm.
Nothing will happen to you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is powerful. My mom is so broken, can't speak. But my grandmother gave me hope. But for 1 week, I didn't eat. I used to sleep. I didn't eat. I used to sleep. Until one time, I just told myself, this cry will not help. Remember, I'm that young. This crying will not help. Then I woke up the one morning and I took my breakfast, and my mom is like, something is wrong. 1 week she has not eaten. And you know, like now, after I've gone to nursing, I know a person who has been in depression for long and just wakes up and is so happy, be careful, might have completed their suicidal plan.
Oh.
So my mom is like, no. Then she said, what do we do now? I told her, Mom, tell me what we need to do, because we need to do something. Now the burden is off. How? I don't know. I just woke up one morning after 1 week. Then I told my mom. That time, I don't know if they were called the AEO, those people for education.
Okay.
I told my mom, these people have been giving me gifts because I've been performing, because I used to get that time was divisional prizes for good academics. I used to get. So I told my mom, those people know me. Can we go to the education headquarters? My mom said, go with you. You have my blessings. If I go with you, they may not see the seriousness. Go.
Yeah.
So I go there. I find the hero is so happy to see me. They know me. They know this is our hero in the division. Then he talks to me in his office, then gives me an appointment. And I go with a lot of hope. The second week, I think he gave me 2 appointments in every week. I went for the first, the second, the third.
Do you find him?
I find him.
Okay.
I find them. There's a team every time I arrive, he calls them. So they talk to me and I feel hope. Then one time, one of the cleaners called me. Msichana, come. Ni nini huwa unatafuta hapa? What is it that you have always been looking at?
Wait, every time you come, what do they say? What?
We are really looking into your matter.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will find a way to help you.
Okay.
Just come next week on Tuesday.
Okay.
Come next week on Thursday. Then this cleaner told me, so you've been looking for school fees here? Yes. What are they saying? That they are looking for a way to help me. And this cleaner was a man. Tells me, they are lying to you. Don't come again. I suggest you go look for your help in the church. These people, they are only lying to you. There's no money for education here. Just go. And I am heartbroken. But at least.
How long is this after you get your results?
I can't really remember, but it was after the letters are out.
Okay.
You know, those days you used to get, I think, around 1 month to prepare to go.
I remember. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I can't really recall.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
It used to be sometime, not now the way they get 2 weeks.
Correct.
So I now go. I tell my mom, she tells me, before we think of the church, let's go to the chief's office. See if maybe he can mobilize an Arambe for us so that at least we get help. Because for me, I cannot be able to reach to the community without help.
Yeah.
Then we go the first time the chief is not in. We go the second time the chief is not in. It's usually his official day was Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
So the third time we find the chief and we are happy. So we went, talked to the chief, expressed our worries, our needs. Then the chief looked straight into me and to my mom and said, I think I can help you. I have the solution for this girl. And we are like, wow, this is the place. But what he said again was a bombshell. He called my mother's name and said, give me this girl. I marry her and take her to school.
Oh my gosh. Underage girl.
Then it was at that point, my mom never said a word. We walked out. Helpless. As usual, I used to go to the church every day because in church I had roles that I had given myself. Others I had been given by the priests, and I knew they were my roles, like feeding the rabbits, cleaning their cars, cleaning their houses, cleaning the compound of the church, cleaning the church. I used to do a lot of things in the church.
Yeah.
So as usual, I go back to my businesses of the church. Then I see the priest. He was the first priest in that place. So we had grown knowing him, knowing us as his children. I see him coming. But before then, I don't remember if it was me who remembered or someone mentioned and said, Father Thomas said, any girl in this parish who gets 550 marks will be taken to school for free. I can't really remember where that thought came from.
Yeah.
If it's somebody who mentioned or I remembered. But I remember he announced 3 times in church, but for long, there were no 550s. So every year there was no 550. Every year there was no. Now I have it. And we were too. I walked to, I waited, he came, packed his car. The same way we were used, I took his bags, took to the office. Then I stood and said, Lucy, how are you? Fine. You seem to have something to say to me. Yes. Then I told him, Father, one time you said this. Any girl in your parish who gets 550, you're gonna sponsor secondary school education.
Yeah.
These are my results. What do you have to say? Say, oh yes, I remember I said, and it has passed many years until I forgot. The power of the word, the power of the tongue. Then he said, let me get a copy of this. Go, I'll get back to you. Then to me, it wasn't a big deal. Even the AO said, I'll get back to you. So I didn't expect anything. I went home.
Yeah.
Few days later, I saw the other girl who also had above 550 with me because we were two coming to our home, but they were rich. Why is she coming to our home? It is on a lunch hour. We are just on our normal meal of the poor, potatoes, chopped with salt, nothing else, and water.
Yeah.
Then she said, I placed my plate on the ground to hear why this girl had to come.
Yeah.
Then she said, Father Thomas said, you have to go to church like now with your mother because he wants to take us to a school. Then I say, oh my goodness, I didn't eat again. Martha, I left my plate.
You and mom all the way
no bathing, nothing, to the church.
to the church.
And there he was. The good news were real good news. He said that if we are willing to get the offer, there's a private school called Carmel Girls. And that is where you will be for 4 years free of charge.
Wow. This is in Machakos?
It's in Machakos,
Mm.
Mwala,
Mm.
Beyoni. That is where I schooled. And then we were like, oh my goodness, something hit me negatively. And I was like, I worked for national school. Now it's a private. He's saying it's a new school. How now? But I had no option. I said, are you willing to take the offer? The other parents said, no, we are able to go to Machakos Girls. I took the offer. I had no choice, Martha.
Because you're being sponsored.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened after that? After they said no, father told them to leave. So they left. I was left there. And after that, we were given transport money because the father knew we didn't have anything. Because I remember at some point he asked, but your father has money. I said, my father said, no, you cannot educate a girl. So I went, picked the letter, again full of needs.
That whole list, the
Yes,
shopping list,
the shopping list.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the father was very clear. There is the fees, catered for. Take care of other needs, but I will bless you with something. He gave me the Bible.
Wow.
Me Bible. Revised Standard, the big one. So we walked. Now where do we get the money? We are desperate cases. My grandmother now falls sick. She's at point of death. She decides to sell a piece of land at 30,000.
30,000 Kenya
so
shillings.
that she could be taken to Kenyatta National Hospital. After selling the piece of land, she gave my mom 10,000. I think this one can help. Of course, it couldn't, but it helped.
Yeah.
We bought a few things and transport to take me to school. What am I saying, Martha? A learning lesson. God can use anyone to speak because there is power in words.
That's true.
My father, what did he say?
There's
He
help.
said the church.
Your grandmother.
He said the grandmother. Now they are here. The
Awesome.
other part about the Bible school may be for another day, but it still came to pass. And that is how Lucy landed in Carmel Girls. And for 4 years I made it. It was also not easy there.
Yeah.
But at least the story is successful.
Yeah.
I completed. I had my grades, which have taken me to the levels of education that I've explained.
Yeah.
So what can I say? That was it after class 8.
Awesome. My viewer, this is an amazing story, a story of victory, and especially for the firstborns who are watching us from out there. Just be encouraged that everything you go through, even if you feel like you've been thrown to the dogs, literally, God can change the situation.
Yes.
And it works out for your good. So if you're a firstborn out there, it is not the end of life and it is not the end of your story. God still has so much in store for you. And as I keep reminding you, we are coming to you from the Mandhari Resort Gardens along the Denderu Banana Road. And this is where you can have all your events happening. You can make the booking or just reach out to them and find out what they have for you using the contacts at the bottom of your screen. And as it is, we would like to take a break for now, and I will invite you to the second part of this story in the next episode, because you will get to see what God has done for my sister Lucy. This is a story of victory, and it does not matter where you're coming from. God is able to change every situation for your good. So keep watching, stay tuned, and God bless you. See you soon.